Welcome back up on the mountain today. It's a little bit cold, but it's going to warm up nicely. So let's get to work. The main plan today is to get all the floor joists installed. That is not going to be strong enough, so we got to work something else out. We're over here at the sawmill. We're going to see if we can cut some oak timbers to make that deck more dump truck friendly. Let's see what we got. Now I have a drying rack over here with some stuff on it. We have these oak beams here. Unfortunately, they're a little bit smaller than a 2x6. We have this oak beam. It's definitely the right height. It's not very long. We do have some 2-inch thick maple. We could actually cut some boards out of that. That's a definite option. We have a lot more of this 2-inch thick oak piled up over here, so we could cut some of those. We also have some raw trees here that we can cut, maybe get some nice beams out of that. So we have lots of options. Let's just figure out which one's going to be the easiest and best. We're going to start by taking this log, throw it up on the sawmill, and we're going to cut it into 5.5 inches tall by as many inches wide as we can make it. I'd like to get it about 3 inches wide. If we get 2 boards out of that, then we'll move on to the next step. I do have a bunch more logs laying over here in the woods we can pull up on the sawmill. So let's get to cutting. All right, well that was pretty easy. So we have our first cut on this oak log. Man, look at that wood. That's pretty nice, isn't it? So now what we're going to do is flip this log over to put the flat part down and cut the other side the same way. We'll try to get it to the proper height of the wood that we're looking for, which is 5.5 inches. In less than 5 minutes, we have 4 2-inch by 5.5 inch by 8 foot long hardwood boards. Let's haul them up there, see what we can do with it. All right, we cut a whole bunch of various timbers. Most of them are from tulip trees or poplar trees. Here's a couple of them here. You can tell by the green of the wood. These are 12 footers and they're 2 inches thick, 5 3/4 wide. And these should carry quite a bit of load, but we're still going to double them up. Let's get some of these things nailed down. All right, we're shooting together our first bay. We have a 2x6 up on end and 2x6 blocks underneath these joists. And these are actually 2 inches thick. You can tell they're thicker than the 2x6 underneath. And those are doubled up going out to the next bay. And we have a 2x6 spacer. And then these are nailed into the side. And then we're going to have to figure out something else for the next bay. But for now, let's do the same thing on the inboard side. Right in here. All right, I think we've done enough joists for the day. We have all of our 2x6x10s on about a 16-inch center, except here where the wheels go, they're on about a 14-inch center. Then we have our hardwood beams inside that. Everything is supported and blocked at the ends. Crosses over each intersection the same way. Now I did go ahead and stagger these. I don't know why. We could have just cut this off right here and then put this right at the end of it. But by staggering it, we're actually gonna get a little bit more strength, I think, because we're just gonna overlap these things. In the middle, we just have regular 2x6 by 12s, supported and blocked at the ends. Yeah, and where the wheels are, looks like I might have a little high spot right there. We'll just hit that with the grinder and knock it down. That's one of the problems with using sawmill lumber. Sometimes it's a little wavy. I think the next thing we need to do is pick up about 50 decking boards. All right, we're back up on the mountain. Just got back from the home improvement store with about half of the decking boards we're going to need. The plan today is to get this thing decked over. Yeah, I know we still have some work to do underneath, but let's get it decked. Also, it's starting to snow today, so that's cool. All right, for the decking, we're going to change to the 2 3/8 ring shank nails. I'll show you what that looks like. So a ring shank nail has a glue on the thing, and it has a little bit of a serration on the blade. That helps to prevent the nails from backing out during thermal cycles during winter and summer, and just keeps the deck boards tighter. Man, this snow is really coming down. So I think we're going to start right here at the dirt, shoot this first board on nice and straight all the way to the end. And then we're just going to slowly start stacking these things out. We're not going to leave any space in between. And based on the deck next to it, we need about 50 boards to get this whole deck done. So let's get to it. Kind of strange to have the sun shining really bright and snowflakes dropping. Did I say it's about 25 degrees out here? It's pretty cold. All right, so this first board, we're shooting 2 nails into each board. I also shot a nail in between the spans. 2 nails, 2 nails, 2 nails, 2 nails, in between, 2 nails, in between, you know, like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and deck this thing out. I have enough boards to get out there in the middle somewhere. So I need to stop stalling and start putting some boards down. Now the nails are going to go pretty quickly, so we're going to have to keep reloading this thing. Now as we're shooting these boards down, we got to be careful. If there's ever a knot on the edge of the board and you shoot a nail next to it, it's going to bust that knot out. It's not going to really matter right there, because we are going to put runners on top of this deck right where the dump truck wheels roll. So you're not going to see that. All right, the decking's going pretty good. We're slowly working our way in. Now I feel like I'm shooting way too many nails because I'm shooting 4 nails to tie all of this together. I don't don't know if we need all of that. We may go to an alternating nail pattern, but nails are cheap, so we're just going to keep shooting them. All right, we're about to cover up our first 6-foot span. Just looking it all over, make sure there's nothing I want to add. Maybe some wood screws or something to keep it from separating. But everything's looking pretty good, so let's keep going. Now, even though it's snowing out here, I might take off my jacket. I'm getting a little heated. You don't want to start sweating underneath your clothes. So my biggest limiting factor in shooting these boards down is the little air compressor. If I shoot too many nails without letting the compressor catch up, it doesn't drive the nails all the way in, especially into these hardwood beams like this. So we're gonna have to hit those with a regular hammer. That's okay. Perfect. So while we're shooting these boards in, you can see this side is pretty tight. The side over here is pretty loose. So what we want to do is kick in the loose side, shoot it first, and then tweak the other side back into position. That way, it's easier. So fortunately, we're down to the last 2 boards. I say fortunately because we can shoot these 2 on, then go back to the lumber store, maybe get a cup of coffee, warm up a little bit. We don't know. So that's about half of our deck shot together. Need to go back to the lumber store and get 25 more decking boards. I'll be right back. All right, we're back from the lumber store. Round 2. Let's get this thing finished up. All right, we're moving right along. We're about 3/4 of the way done with the deck. Now we're going to start measuring all the way to the end. If there's any inconsistencies, let's take them out now. So on this end, we are 106 and we'll say 1/4. On this other end, we are 105 3/4. So what that means is we need to space this side out just a little bit, like less than 1/16 of an inch. Keep this end as tight as we can, and we'll remeasure it in about 3 or 4 more boards. That sounds like a plan. Let's check our spacing again. On this end, we are down to 49 and, we're gonna say 3/8. And over here, we are at 49 and, well, we're gonna say 48 and we'll say 49. So we still have 3/8 of an inch to make up. We're doing good. All right, so based on this side, looks like we have about 4 boards left. 1, 2, 3, and 1 at the end with an overhang. But I only have 2 boards that I bought from the store. We have this one laying right here. And there's 1 in the back of the truck. But don't worry, I was counting on this. Over here in the tractor barn, I have 3 more decking boards. They look like they might be 12 feet long. Which means we're gonna have to cut the end off. But that's okay, we're gonna use those first so we can run a chalk line nice and straight past those. All right, we're down to the last board on this deck and we're gonna have to cut it long ways, which is called ripping, because we don't want it to stick out past this post in case we want to put siding on the outside of this barn in the future. So I went ahead and put a little mark right here where we're gonna cut it, which is right over the edge of the framing. Same on the other side. Take that back to the mini truck, snap a chalk line on it, and give it a cut. So for anyone that doesn't know, this is a chalk line. All it is a container with blue or black chalk in it and a coil of string, and you pull it out and make a line. I'll show you. So we hooked a little thing on one end, right on our mark. We roll this thing out the whole length of the board. And somewhere here at the end, we hold the little handle with our thumb, put the string right on our mark. I'm gonna have to put the camera down to snap this line, but what I'm gonna do is pull the line up in the middle, let it go, and it'll make a line. I'll show you. All right, now we have a nice line, the whole length of this board, perfectly straight. Now we just gotta use our skill saw, and hopefully I have the skill to cut a nice straight line the whole length of this board. We'll see. And just like that, we have a narrower floorboard. Let's go get that screwed to the deck or nailed, whatever we're doing. All right, so that is our deck completed. We only have one more operation we need to do. Yeah, you guys have probably already guessed it. We need to take our chalk line along this outside edge, snap a nice straight line, run our skill saw across there, make it nice and straight. Let's get to it. All right, that's going to do it for the deck build. Next thing we need to do, put a roof on it. But we're not going to do that today. You guys get outside, do something fun, come back and tell me about it.